My name is Jennifer Borkowski. I am with Commend. We are a security communication company. Not sure if you guys have had a chance to stop by, but certainly do. So here we're going to talk about a few. We all know that security is something that looks really easy when it's programmed and all set, but it's definitely not as easy to get there, right? Between design and implementation and programming services, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of effort and time. But we have solutions that we're going to go over that make things a little bit easier for you guys.
All right, so I am Joe Barnhart. I work for Chesapeake Marketing, and we are going to be talking about remote device management. Just going to quickly overview this. We're not going to dive too deep into it. If anyone would like to dive deep into any of this, I'm more than happy to set up a call. I'm also displaying some of this in the next room. I can show you guys everything if you'd like. So what is remote device management? What is it all around? The secret to this is going to be Remote Portal. Remote Portal is the hub. So you can take Bosch cameras, enroll them to Remote Portal. You get remote device system management, VSAS, and enable third-party applications. So if you visit the Azena booth next door, that is how you can load the third-party applications. So you can easily establish a connection and remote access to the devices. What does this mean? So you create a Remote Portal user account, and you go into the user interface of our camera, and you enroll the camera to Remote Portal. A couple of caveats. The camera needs to have access to the outside world. So you need an IP address, a subnet, a gateway, DNS. Time needs to be set correctly on the device. There's no opening of firewalls, forwarding ports. It will automatically make the connection at that port. Configure piece of this. You can configure the devices remotely using Configuration Manager. I'll dive a little bit into that if you guys want to see that. It's an awesome tool that Bosch offers. And then the nicest piece of this is maintaining and understanding your device health, whether it be a couple cameras or a couple thousand cameras distributed across the globe. Remote Portal is web-based, web browser-based. You have user management, system organization. So you can have multiple different systems with multiple cameras in it. Right now, there is no limitation as far as the amount of systems you can have or sites. There is a limitation based upon camera count, which is 256 cameras per site. So you can see here, there's a couple different groups or sites, and then you can see the cameras inside of each of those sites. The nice thing is, it gives you a health status. You can see health. What is health? It means, is the device online or is it offline? Connectivity, as well as services, and does the camera need a firmware update? We'll go through each of those briefly. So one thing I did not mention, this is free. Absolutely free. Comes with the price of the camera. So what do you get? You get remote alert. So what is that? You can sign the camera up to get alerts to your email based on status. So health, is it recording? Is it not recording? Is it online? Is it offline? Does it need a firmware update? Or is a firmware update available? Remote connect. You can remotely view your cameras. Depending on how you're recording, SD card or using VRM, you can view recorded video. You can also do forensic search with light forensic search with an application. I'll go through that a little bit. And then finally, remote firmware management. You can push firmware to multiple devices at one time using this web-based application. This is Configuration Manager. This is Bosch's camera configuration tool. It will scan the network, it will find your cameras, you authenticate, set passwords, set time, imaging, everything you want to do with a Bosch camera, you use this tool for. And it makes it really easy. So if you sign into your Remote Portal account, you can see every device that's enrolled to Remote Portal anywhere it is that you have access to, all through one application. And you can set up analytics. You can change, as long as you're not changing network pieces to this, you can configure the cameras remotely. So you sit at home, you can have a service technician be able to set the cameras. Maybe you're playing with IVA rules. You can do this all remotely versus rolling a truck, having the guy sitting there, driving a car, walking around to test these analytics. So there are different access user rights. An admin obviously would have access to all your groups. Technicians is limited. Technicians can enroll the cameras, and then technicians will only have the rights that an admin assigns them to. And then there's a user piece of this. So from a customer standpoint, they'll be able to see live video as well as recorded video and do very light forensic search capabilities. Now, it doesn't mean all users or end users need to have a user account. They can, of course, have an admin and manage all of their devices. So a little bit about the viewing capability. We have Video Security app, which is available on Android and Apple iOS. And then there is Video Security Client. And for customers that absolutely have to view video from a web browser, we have Remote Portal Web Viewer. So a bunch of different ways to view this video. And if I didn't mention it before, it's absolutely free. So it is fully integrated to the Bosch cloud and compatible with the Site Monitor app. This is just a little bit of recorded video, timeline, recorded video, not recorded video, just to show you guys a little bit of the user interface. There's also your cameras here that are connected to the site. You'll have an update of a JPEG image, and then, of course, live video in the image pane. You can drag up to 8 cameras out, view them live as well as playback at one time. That is the only limitation with viewing video in the user interface. It's a really, really powerful tool. It is great. I would say it's one of Bosch's best kept secrets as far as remote device management. I use it every day. We have a bunch of different offices with cameras all over the place, and I'm constantly in these cameras using all of these different applications, utilizing Remote Portal to show customers all of our cameras all over. So the nice thing is I can sit at home and I can show cameras in Pennsylvania, right down the street in Abingdon, sites in Virginia. It's a great tool and absolutely free. So I'm going to give you guys some coming soon pieces to this for the users in the room that use DIPs. So one of the biggest struggles with remote management of VMS systems is if they're not on a customer's network, how do you know the status of these systems, right? How do you know it's online, recording? So we are going to be releasing the next couple of months the ability to manage your DIP devices as well as the cameras hooked to those DIP devices. So you can do inventory management, update management, as well as health monitoring. So you can see what version of BVMS is being run on the system. What version of VRM is running on the system? Is it online? Is it offline? How are all your cameras doing? Are they recording? Are they online? Is there a firmware update available? Doesn't mean you need to push firmware to the camera. It's just showing you that it is available if needed. Say there's a security patch. You can set up health alerts, so you can send an email and say, camera 678 is offline and not recording. Dispatch a truck, a technician to go and check out camera 678. Right? It can be almost automated to where they get that email, hey, camera 678's out. I'm going to go in a Remote Portal. I'm going to open up Configuration Manager. Let's see if I can get into the camera. No, we need to roll a truck. Something else is wrong with this camera. Detailed recording health. So green, obviously, is no issues. Yellow, camera does not reach the recording media. And then red, buffer was exceeded and lost data. So, and then just a little bit more when you click on the actual camera, what the recording streams are, if there's an error, if it is streaming, is there a block mounted? And just a little bit more in depth into these DIP units, so temperature of the unit, the fan status, chassis intrusion, so did somebody pull a drive out of the unit, power supply working correctly, what's the RAID status, and what's the physical disk status.